We need to talk about eating Slowpoke tails. So this is Slowpoke, and this is Slowpoke's tail. And in the original Pokemon games, there's a whole subplot of Team Rocket capturing Slowpoke so that they can cut off their tails because they're a delicacy and sell them at an enormous price. But then in Galar, you see them just kind of on sandwiches. So what changed, and is harvesting an organism's tail a sustainable practice? There are some real-life animals that are able to regenerate their limbs, and the most famous one is the axolotl, which, if you squint, that just kind of looks like Slowpoke. Amphibians are famous for limb regeneration. I think, starfish are also up there. There's a lot of lizards that can regrow their tails because they've evolved that as a defense mechanism. If a predator tries to catch them, they pop off their tail, and then in a couple weeks, they will grow a new one. Axolotls are crazy, and they can actually just, regrow entire limbs, including the bone. So it's possible that Slowpoke can also just regenerate its tail if it's cut off, but this thing is really large, and this is going to take a really long time to regrow a tail, because some limb regeneration in amphibians can take a couple of months up to 6 months. So imagine Slowpoke is a pretty big Pokemon as far as Pokemon go. Regrowing a tail might take a year. Especially this thing has a really slow metabolism, so it's going to regrow its tail at a really slow rate because this just doesn't have a lot of speed in anything that it does. So the whole scheme with Team Rocket, this kind of reads to me as a get-rich-quick scheme. They're oh, this Pokemon can regrow its tail. We catch this Pokemon, we have an endless amount of tails. Which, sure, but if you cut off one tail and then it takes a year or however long to grow another tail, then you just have to feed this thing the whole time and you lose off your profits. And Team Rocket isn't the smartest organization out there, so they could have made a mistake and thought this was their gateway to being a giant successful crime organization, and then it just failed. And also the ethics of this would be really weird. You would be causing this thing pain, assuming this poor idiot can feel pain. And it seems if you're going to eat the tail, you might as well just kind of eat the whole thing, right? Treat this as kind of a livestock, and yeah, these things have a slow metabolism, they get to a big size. This just seems like a cow that you would use for beef production, right? But then they figured something out in Galar to where this is a common food. It's not, you're not going to go broke ordering Slowpoke tail. So what changed? They either just now commercially raise Slowpoke, and maybe they turn the meat into other things, and this is part of the tail, and they figured out Slowpoke agriculture that Team Rocket never could. Or maybe they just figured out how to grow just the tails in a lab.